Hi, Help Free Shawn supporters on YouTube. Today, I wanted to share with you a perspective, a different way of seeing what happened in the crime that Shawn was associated with as a homeless, orphaned teenager in 2003. Bottom line of what Shawn himself did was he befriended another homeless teen for a few weeks. She knew how to get roofs over their head. Shawn had spent many a night living under a bridge or sleeping in a car that was unlocked. He was on the street surviving as a kid, basically. He'd been raised by the state. His parents abandoned him, and he had a very rough childhood. And at 18, the state kicked him out into the streets and said, "Go be homeless. Good luck. No help, no money, no tent, no jacket, nowhere to go, no job training, no financial literacy training, just a complete lack of preparation for adulthood and a sentence of homelessness." That's what Shawn was set up for. And in order to survive, he met another homeless teenager. They buddied up. Anna knew how to get vouchers to get a hotel room. The Goodwill would give away vouchers. That way he could take a shower, he could sleep in a bed. Anna knew a church which would let the homeless teenagers sleep inside their building. Anna knew how to survive as a homeless teen a bit better than Shawn did. So he began, hanging out with her. They had only known each other, I think, about 3 weeks. This wasn't someone he knew well. And Anna had a boyfriend who had been abusive of her. She said he had burned her with a cigarette. Shawn had witnessed this 39-year-old pedophile making unwanted sexual advances towards Anna when she was, 19. And so when Anna said that she wanted to do something in retribution to her boyfriend, she wanted to steal some money from him. I think there was probably a part of Shawn that was like, that dude's a pedophile. He's been hurting you. He's pretty, weird. Do what you want to do. And if he tries to beat you up, yeah, I'm not going to let him beat you up. Do what you want to do. So Anna had intentions to rob her boyfriend. The day came, and a group of 4 people, Nick, the victim, Anna, the real bad guy in the situation, Shawn, wrong place, wrong time, unlucky, and his pregnant girlfriend, Erin, went from this hotel where 3 of them had spent the night. Nick had not spent the night there, but Shawn, Anna, and Erin had spent the night in this hotel. And they went a few blocks away into an abandoned juvenile hall building nearby. Shawn and Erin began roaming and exploring the building. Shawn thought the reason they were going there was to leave their stuff somewhere safe for the day so they could go do whatever they were going to do during the daytime. While Shawn and Erin were walking around this vacant building, Anna alone manipulated and shoved Nick into a holding cell where he could not get out. That's technically a kidnapping. Shawn, by the way, received a 7 to life sentence for kidnapping he did not know what occurred, did not agree to, and was not even physically present for. That's called a wrongful conviction in my book, but Placer County did it like it was no problem. And they gave him a 7 to life sentence for a crime he literally did not commit, wasn't even there for, didn't know what happened. Placer County also gave Shawn a 25 to life sentence for conspiracy to commit murder. Now, in my view, Shawn was Anna's second victim. Nick Hammond was the first victim in this crime, and though he was not physically harmed, I'm sure he had some mental anguish and fear that he experienced as a result of being stuck in a room he didn't want to be stuck in. But he was not physically harmed unless you believe that having 1 degree colder than average body temperature and some soggy wet feet, both of which would have resolved in a couple hours at most, are injuries. He wasn't actually injured. But Anna wanted him dead. And we have evidence actually that Anna wanted Shawn dead too, because she felt like Shawn wasn't supporting her efforts to kill Nick enough. So she began discussing with her uncle how Shawn needed to die too, and she had a very large knife. She had a deadly weapon on her. So Shawn's in this situation now where his pregnant girlfriend's around, a guy he doesn't want to see harmed is at risk, and he just wanted to help calm the situation and resolve it so nobody got hurt. So what do you do? Well, he probably should have called the police. I'm not sure he had an opportunity away from Anna to do that. That's a good question. I should ask him that. Did he actually have an opportunity alone? Because I think Shawn and Anna were together the whole time. Shawn was afraid for his life. Anna Rugg, by the way, you couldn't tell it was a woman. Anna Rugg now identifies as transgender and goes by the name CJ. She had a bald head and wore men's clothes. It was hard to tell if she was male or female. And she was ready to kill. She was aggressive and hostile and wanting to be violent. Anna suggested that they take Nick to the Forest Hill Bridge and shove him off the bridge. Very far drop. He would have definitely died. Shawn talked her out of that. Then she said, well, why don't we get a baseball bat, wrap it in barbed wire, and beat him to death? Shawn talked her out of it. Shawn began realizing the only way out of this situation in a safe way in his 19-year-old, fully undeveloped anyway, brain was, let me come up with something where Anna will think he's dead, but he's not. I'll protect him, and then she'll stop coming here and leave him alone, and I'll go tell the cops what's happening. So Shawn and by the way, Shawn totally acted to protect Nick repeatedly. Shawn talked Anna out of pushing Nick off the bridge. Shawn talked Anna out of the baseball bat beating. Shawn tried to break the plexiglass in the room where Nick was trapped. That didn't work. So then he tried to unscrew the glass. Nick Hammond set off the fire sprinklers on himself while trapped in a room. Shawn went and got a tool and tried to turn off the water for him. Shawn was acting to save Nick's life, and in my view, if Shawn wasn't there, Nick Hammond would be a dead guy. By the way, Nick Hammond lied at trial over important details, like the level of the water. Nick said, the water was up to my neck. I was close to drowning. I might have died. The water. The water was up to his knees, and there was a table in the room, the same table he used to stand on to set off the sprinkler, where he could escape the water. Yeah, it was scary for him. It was traumatizing emotionally, I'm sure, but he was not physically harmed, and he admits repeatedly in writing and verbally to perjuring himself, which is a crime. He's never been brought to justice for that crime. Placer County seems fine with the crime of perjury in their courtrooms. Not sure why that's happening in the United States of America, but it is. They've done nothing with Nick Hammond's recantations of his testimony. So, Shawn was given a 25 to life sentence for conspiracy to commit murder, even though he never actually did anything that could have moved forward any kind of murder crime. Actually, what he did was save Nick Hammond's life, and then Nick Hammond lied about it at trial and has never been brought to justice for his lies. Shawn is completely innocent of conspiracy to commit murder. He is completely innocent of kidnapping for extortion. He's been wrongfully convicted of crimes Anna did that he did not do. He actually undermined Anna. What did Shawn actually do? What is he actually guilty of? Well, he sort of participated verbally in Anna's $80 robbery of her boyfriend at the time. And they rode around in his car without permission. Nick got his car right back immediately. So what Shawn actually did as a homeless orphan teenager is participate in an $80 robbery, save a man's life, almost become a victim of murder himself, protected Erin, his pregnant girlfriend, and sabotaged Anna Rugg's murderous intentions, even at peril and risk to his own life. So $80 robbery, maybe auto theft, and that's about it. That's what he did. And for that, he's been in prison over 20 years and could never get out on a 25 to life sentence. So here's the thing. If I was in charge of this, if I could have my way, if I was the law, the government in Auburn in 2003, I probably would have looked at this situation and gone, Shawn and Anna, you got to pay back that $80. You are going to apologize to Nick Hammond in writing or whatever he's tolerant of. We're going to ask Nick, what does he want to see happen in this situation? We're going to see what justice looks like to the victim. If I was in charge, I would have looked at Shawn and gone, you know what? We're going to find you a homeless shelter to stay in. We're going to get you a caseworker to help you find some employment or educational opportunities so you can get off the streets and make a real life for yourself, since the state that raised you prior to this didn't actually prepare you for adulthood in any practical ways. Shawn was involved in an $80 robbery. At the end of the day, that's what Nick had taken from him. He didn't have his life taken from him. He didn't have any bodily functions taken from him. He really didn't have his car taken from him. He got it right back. What the victim of this crime had happened was he had $80 taken from him by his girlfriend. And Shawn was around and sort of participated in that robbery of $80 and the auto theft, if you want to call it that. The state has spent literally taxpayer dollars, like millions of taxpayer dollars have been spent incarcerating, traumatizing, and torturing Shawn in a lengthy prison term he did not deserve. My guess is that this is actually relatively common. The more I talk to people who are system impacted, I realize Shawn's not alone. This story is, it happens. People get sent to prison for crimes they themselves didn't commit. Like, it's happened on a regular basis. I mean. It just boggles my mind, the lack of common sense and humanity. William Markey, by the way, I want to say his name. Please remember this name, William Markey. That was the prosecuting attorney who did this to Shawn, who decided that, paying back the $80 and saying sorry and maybe doing some community service could have been enough. But no, Markey wanted a life sentence conviction for this homeless orphan teenager. And that's what he got. And it wasn't justice, and it wasn't right, and it wasn't fair. It's not been rehabilitative. It didn't help anyone. Even the only victim has repeatedly advocated for Shawn's relief by confessing to the perjury at the trial. So many jurors have advocated for Shawn. One juror wrote in a statement to the judge that he begged, he used the word begged the judge to resentence Shawn. Another juror said that he believed Shawn should have received, quote, at most 1 year of confinement, end quote. Another juror said there was no physical injury. Where is the justice? So many jurors have advocated for Shawn's behalf. Something went wrong in this case. Jurors were confused. They wrote in their post-trial comments how confused they were, how much they regretted their votes. They wrote that they knew Shawn had no intent to kill and that voting him guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, like, they were just confused by the law. They thought they had to. So Shawn basically got 2 life sentences, one for kidnapping he didn't know would occur, wasn't even there for, and a conspiracy to commit murder. And this conspiracy, he himself did not meet the requirements for. He actually prevented someone from he saved a life, in my view. He saved Anna from killing Nick. And lastly, there was no murder. There was no murder, and he got a murder sentence, like the same as a real murderer would get. So the point of this video is just to say, how could our system have handled this case differently? Could have been handled very differently. It could have been handled with a shelter and some community service and an apology and paying back the money and helping him, a homeless teen in Placer County. But instead, Placer County authorities did all they could to ruin his life and send him away and make him a slave in hell for life. And that's wrong, and it needs to be undone. Thank you for watching, and please continue to follow content here on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Check out helpfreeshawn.com. Make sure to sign the change.org petition. Check out our merch on Redbubble. This is a whole movement. Thank you for being here and being a part of the movement. Bye, everybody.